When I got the news today, I didn't know what to say, so I just hung up the phone. I took a walk to clear my head, and this is where the walk-in led. Can't believe you're really gone. Don't feel like going home, so I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear, and drink a beer. Funny how the good ones go too soon, but the good Lord knows the reasons why, I guess. Sometimes a greater plan is kind of hard to understand. Right now it don't make sense. I can't make it all make sense, so I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear, and drink a beer. So long, my friend, until we meet again. I'll remember you and all the times that we used to sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear, and drink a beer, drink a beer, drink a beer. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now
I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
You can be seated. Thank you. There's a road that each of us travels, oftentimes with no chance for goodbye. And those who are left sad and lonely grieve in silence and simply ask, why? But the question is one without answers, and the comfort that others provide still can't keep your poor heart from wishing that your loved one was there by your side. Yet life has beginnings and endings, and one day your heartache will cease. Though it seems like you'll never stop hurting, over time you will find inner peace. You'll be able to think of your loved one without wiping a tear from your eye. And you'll come to see death as a doorway and not a forever goodbye. On behalf of Turner's family, we wish to thank you all for the outpouring of love and support that have arrived to their doorstep in these last several days. Thank you for being here together, because together today we can mourn, we can share memories, and we can celebrate our boy Turner. Much loved son of Kim and Rob, cherished little brother to Melinda and Sky, Braden and Maya. Turner also had the love of Grandma and Grandpa Watson, his many aunts, uncles, and cousins in the Watson and McKenzie families, and his girlfriend Erin Overholt and her family. Turner cultivated a very large circle of friends, visual right here today where I stand. He was a guy that was compassionate and devoted to all that surrounded him. He had a remarkable understanding of sports, which served him extremely well. Playing school hockey and basketball was believed to be the reason to go to school in the first place. From a small child, his entire life was dedicated to being an athlete. And his long list of towns and teams in competitive baseball and hockey is mighty impressive. Hanover, Kincardine, Kitchener, Grey Bruce Highlanders, Wingham, OBA, Ice Sharks, local beer league, local slow pitch league, to name a few. An athletic life which notably started here in his hometown of Walkerton, in this very arena, and came full circle right where we stand here today to honor him. Ironically, we're even close to the penalty box that I understand he was certainly very familiar with. How appropriate today to be in a place for comfort that he and his family has spent so much time. Turner was a loyal teammate and always had a sense of what to do and how to do it when it came to game situations. Recently, he enjoyed playing slow pitch in Walkerton with his buddies on the Booze Hounds team. Truly a Bruce County name, and I can guess he wasn't the only one who exemplified the logo. Turner's many faithful friends will deeply miss his influence and leadership, companionship, and mostly his infectious laugh. Today, in particular, 6 close friends stand solemnly as his pallbearers: Nigel Krieger, Noah Wetlaufer, Brady Kelly, Sam Overholt, Ryan Fleischauer, and Braden McKenzie. As well, many of his fellow teammates and friends are here to honor number 11 in the form of an honor guard in their Wingham Ironman jerseys, his current Junior C team. Thank you, gentlemen. In the days, weeks, and months ahead, I hope we can choose not to define Turner but how he left us, but instead by the 19 years he lived and loved life. Remember his quick wit, his sense of humor, his attention to the game. Maybe you'll remember his crocs or his ability to recognize when others needed to be included. Or maybe you'll remember his time he spent working at Joy Sportswear. Maybe you'll remember him when you enjoy his favorite food, Hamburg, or just enjoying leftovers, those ones he managed to conveniently find in your fridge and make sure they didn't get wasted. Maybe remember his socks, or his lack of match socks, or his Yeti. Perhaps you'll find one, as I understand he lost many. Remember his sweatshirts, the ones that formed the trail of things he constantly left behind. Remember his love of socializing. Remember how you enjoyed watching sports together, playing pool or a game of cornhole. Remember his ability to just chill out and enjoy your company. Remember the Turner who lived life flying by the seat of his pants. Remember that guy who loved to chirp in and take great pleasure in entertaining everyone around him. Remember his heart that was bigger than life. Remember to share, and to share, and to share again. All these great things he loved and lived for. I found a famous quote by Hockey Hall of Famer Eric Lindros that speaks of hockey practice. I'd like to think it speaks of life. It's not necessarily the amount of time you spend at practice that counts. It's what you put into it. I would like to invite Colson Fisher to share with us some memories on behalf of their Walkerton Fen Group and also the Wingham Ironman.
Hello, everyone. I want to take a moment to remember and honor our dear friend and teammate, Turner. I was a good friend and teammate of Turner, or as most of us call him, T-Mac, on the Wingham Ironman Junior C Hockey Club and Booze Hound Slow Pitch team. I'm not sure where to start. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life, but here goes nothing. First and foremost, I want to give my deepest condolences to the McKenzie family and friends on behalf of the entire Wingham Ironman organization and community. We are aware that Rob and Kim have never missed a game and are amongst our most dedicated fans. Undoubtedly, they will continue to make every effort possible to attend as many games in the years ahead. I can still vividly remember the day way back in elementary school at ICS when Turner came up to me at recess, all excited to tell me he decided to try out and eventually play for a AAA hockey team. Little did we know at that time what the future had in store for both of us together on the ice. Fast forward quite a few years when I had the honor of sharing the ice with Turner for the first time on a forward line with 3 natural defensemen on the Officer Championship hockey team. Then again this past year, back where we belong on the blue line for the Wingham Ironman. Turner was a guy who had a unique ability to really light up any room he walked into. He could make you laugh even when you didn't want him to, like right before a Game 7 elimination game. He was also a guy who knew exactly what to say during any situation, but specifically how to get every guy pumped up to go to battle for one another each and every game. As a member of our hockey team, Turner had a couple of different roles. The obvious one is to go out and play the game of hockey, which he loves so much. Don't get me wrong, he was an exceptional hockey player, and I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of the most improved player last year, as his growth as a player in person was extremely impressive to watch. But that wasn't the only thing he brought to the team. He was an okay sewer ball player that thought he was the best, or at least I've been told. In addition, he was responsible for music before every game, and even though he could never shut the music off in time for coach's pregame speech or meet the criteria of some of the players, there wasn't anyone taking that role away from him. Furthermore, Turner was a guy who would stick up for his teammates during any situation, even though he was maybe going to lose or be so tired he needed to take his next shift off. He didn't care. The one thing he did care about and loved the most was trying to get into the other team's best players' heads. He may not have always been the best at chirping, but he sure was the most consistent. He certainly made our bench laugh and usually found a way to get under their skin at the end of the day. Finally, Turner was a leader for our team, and that is something I admired most. He came onto our team as a rookie this past year and made an immediate impact. He especially pushed the older guys of the team to be the best they could be every night and be the best possible leaders for the younger guys who just started on the team. He was a guy that I could have seen taking over as captain for this team in the coming years, and I would have been honored to pass the torch off to him. Turner is a guy that can't be replaced in any capacity, and people shouldn't try to. But I'm going to make a promise to him that all of us as a team will collectively try to fill that void by bringing that energy, growing as a team into a family, saying some chirps, laying some hits, and finally playing as the hockey team he knew and expected us to. You will forever be a part of the Tinman family, and we owe it to you to bring one home this year. On behalf of your friends and ball teammates, you were a loving, friendly, caring, and funny guy who would have done anything for any one of us at any time and place. We will miss your laugh and you making us laugh. We will miss having a good time, talking, hanging out, playing games or sports. We will miss sitting in your backyard by the bar or pool, talking about the GOAT of basketball, or cheering against each other for whatever sports game we were watching. We all know we have an angel watching over each and every one of us, and Turner, for all of us down here, give heaven some hell.
Can't believe that you got me in a suit and tie. I had to take a pull so I wouldn't cry. You got a line out the church door saying goodbye. Yeah, I believe them when they say you're in a better place. You had a wild side, but you had amazing grace. I know you're way off up in them clouds, but if you could still hear thunder, make 'em wonder how you got in. Hide your beer, hide you clear from a man upstairs. Crank it loud, hold it down till I get there. And when I do, I hope you got some new stories to tell. Till then, give heaven some hell. I bet you're looking for a crew like we had. Bunch of noise-making boys that like to live fast. Burning rubber in a parking lot. Man, I don't know if the other side's ready or not, but I hope you hit those gold streets on two wheels. I hope your mansion in the sky's got a 10-acre field with some mud and some pubs you can lock in. Make some thunder, make 'em wonder how you got in. Hide your beer, hide you clear from a man upstairs. Crank it loud, hold it down till I get there. And when I do, I hope you got some new stories to tell. Till then, give heaven some hell. I was there when you raised your hand. Heads bowed, singing just as I am. Walking that aisle, praying that prayer. Man, it ain't right, but if you gotta be there, I hope you hit those gold streets on two wheels. Hope your mansion in the sky's got a 10-acre field with some mud and some hubs you can lock in. Make some thunder, make 'em wonder how you got in. Hide your beer, hide you clear from a man upstairs. Crank it loud, hold it down till I get there. And when I do, I hope you got some new stories to tell. Till then, give heaven some hell. I was there when you raised your hand. That thing just as I am. Man, it ain't right, man, it ain't fair. I'll see you again, but till then, give heaven some hell.
Now I'll ask Erin to come up and share her memories.
Dear Turner, I'm writing this to help me to say goodbye to you. I never thought that I would have to say goodbye to my other half this early on in my life. The love that was shared between us was so pure, strong, and unmatched. I feel so truly blessed that I got to share your last couple years of life with you. There became a point where everyone just knew that if Turner was there, Erin must have been there too. I can't even begin to describe to you how much love I carry for you in my heart and will continue to carry every day. The first time I met you, I thought I knew that we were going to love each other. I just never could have imagined that this much love could have been shared between two people. Our first Christmas together, you gave me an infinity necklace, and that symbol kind of became the symbol that represented our love. The card that came with it, I will forever remember. It said, "Storm clouds may gather and stars may collide, but I will love you until the end of time." And I'm so glad that you took that so literally. You are so extraordinary in so many ways. You always loved to be the center of attention, making us all laugh and sometimes even chase you. The adventures you encountered on Friday and Saturday nights will forever be remembered. You loved a good sandwich, and any leftovers you were able to find, no matter where you were, you always had a full belly. The night you left, we shared so much love. In a way, I think you knew what was going to happen, and in your own way, you said goodbye. Not just to me, but to all the people who loved you. You shared so many laughs with your friends and told everyone you loved them when you had the chance. On May 6th, 2023, You promised me that you will love me until the day you die. And well, my sweet Turner, you kept very good on that promise. I promise that our love and memories will never be forgotten. I will love you until we are able to meet again. Turner would have been so proud of the friends and family he had left behind, and he would want you to remember all the best moments you shared. Even though life has split us apart for a while, we will always be bound to each other through these amazing memories and love that we shared. I will miss the way your smile could light up the room and your tight hugs that made me feel as if I was home. Until we are able to meet again, Squishy, I love you forever and always, to infinity and beyond.
I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road. But I got lost a time or two, wiped my brow and kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. That every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Yes, it did. I think about the years I spent just passing through. I'd like to have the time I lost and give it back to you. But you just smile and take my hand. You've been there, you understand. It's all part of a grander plan that is coming true. Every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. And now I'm just rolling home into my lover's arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. That God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
Turner's family has some very special memories to share. So we'll ask Melinda and Braden to come forward.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Melinda, and this is Braden, and Turner is our little brother.
On behalf of our entire family, we would like to thank everyone for being here today to celebrate Turner and his life.
While he was known to many as T-Mac or Tuna, or nicknamed Huey by Grandpa, to me, he will always be my baby brother, Turner. As I considered what role I wanted to take on today, I was asked about playing the violin. But because I can still hear Turner complaining each time I brought my violin out to practice, I knew that would be the last thing he would want. So instead, I would like to share how much he meant to me and how special our family was with him in it. I remember the day Turner was born. With 6 years between us, I was so excited for my parents to be having another baby. I woke up to get ready for school, and my parents had secretly left for the hospital. So we headed off to school, and I waited patiently until the secretary got the news and came to my class to let me know I had another baby brother named Turner. I got to tell my whole class and had a picture of him up on the classroom blackboard a few days later. And while I didn't get the sister I had hoped for, as Turner's hair grew into beautiful blonde curls, people would often mistakenly say, "Your sister is so cute." That cute little curly-haired boy was obsessed with John Deere tractors, Tonka toys, and dinky cars. He'd have cars lined up all over the living room floor and would be so excited each time he was given a new one. The Pixar Cars movie was constantly playing on our television, to the point that the DVD somehow stopped working. None of us could handle how upset he was, and the DVD was replaced with a new copy to keep him happy. Turner was also gifted a green three-wheeler toy motorcycle to ride on from Grandma and Grandpa, and he insisted the motorcycle sleep next to him for a nap in the playpen. He fell asleep with his arm around his motorcycle. Eventually, Dad convinced Mom to have the curls cut off, and Turner's obsession with cars transitioned to an obsession for sports. Turner grew up in our loving but competitive family, and he fit right into the sports-oriented household that we were. When he was still pretty young, he'd be up at the crack of dawn before anyone else to watch the sports highlights, sometimes so early in the morning that Mom and Dad would send him back up to bed. I'd come downstairs to get ready for school and find him in front of the TV talking out loud as if he was one of the sports commentators. Turner also enjoyed tagging along to our hockey and baseball and soccer games, and even took up a position as water boy for my hockey team. So I guess we could say he really became a good hockey player from watching his older sister play. Looking at his hockey career and the player he became, it's funny to think back to his first real skate on the ice, when I came along with Mom to his hockey camp. We sent him onto the ice, and down he went. But he got back up over and over again, and was skating by the end of the week, and fell in love with playing the game from there. While the three of us kids would argue about who was the best at what sport, who was fastest or who was best skater or had the hardest shot, we were all supportive of each other's athletics, and I loved watching Turner play. And we did have one thing in common. If Mom didn't like a play you'd made on the ice, you could bet the salt and pepper shakers and condiment bottles on the dinner table would be used to show us how the play should have been executed. Turner was always actively moving and bouncing around and rarely sat still. He'd run and throw himself at Mom with his arms clinging around her shoulders, or he would constantly maneuver throughout the house pretending to stick handle or shoot hoops. He also loved to eat, and for some reason the food must have tasted better when it wasn't his. I learned many times that if I had food or leftovers that I wanted, I better hide it. If not, Turner would spy it in the fridge, and it would be gone as a midnight snack. One night, he spotted a takeout box in our fridge, and assuming it was mine, helped himself, and then put the empty container back in the fridge to hide his tracks. The next day, my friend unknowingly took home her takeout container and opened it up to enjoy her leftovers, only to find her sandwich was gone. We've heard from his friends and their families that Turner would also open their fridges and help himself to their food. But when it came to hiding food, Turner was the real expert. Whenever he didn't feel like eating the fruit that Mom packed him for school, he'd hide it in the most obscure places. Mom would find grapes months later hidden in bedroom drawers, vehicles, the laundry chute, wizzled and moldy. Turner spent many summers at the family trailer in Ayton, enjoyed visits to Grandma and Grandpa's farm in Holstein, spending time with Aunt Katie, Uncle Andrew, Ava, and Theo, and was often surrounded by extended family for various holidays, birthdays, and other get-togethers. Turner joined many family vacations south to Mexico and Dominican and traveled to Europe for a hockey tournament with the Grey Bruce Highlanders and his fan club, Mum, Grandma, and Aunt Bev. He also tagged along to New Brunswick for Braden's ball tournament, where we ended up one day at a go-kart track. He was around 9 years old and driving out there on his own, and being the competitive guy he was, somehow got into a race with a grown adult who didn't even realize that Turner was trying to cut him off and get around him. Things backfired for Turner when somehow his go-kart went up and over the side of the track. Turner emerged from the cart and threw his hands up in the air as if it was all the other guy's fault. The guy's wife frantically apologized to Mom, who had to respond, "Nope, I think that was all my kid's doing." If there's one thing Turner did not like, it was the dentist. Even the sprays of water in his mouth would have him screaming bloody murder. I vividly remember sitting in the waiting room of the dental office with Braden while Mom took Turner to the back. The screaming and crying show soon commenced, and the receptionist looked over at us and asked, "Is that your brother?" We embarrassingly answered yes. The one visit that Mom was finally able to calm him down enough to get the fluoride treatment for the very first time. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until they went to pay and Turner suddenly vomited all over the reception area floor. An executive decision was made: no more fluoride treatments. Ironically enough, Turner would eventually start dating a dental assistant, Erin. The two were inseparable, and he brought Erin and her energy into our home frequently. Erin, you will forever be considered part of our family. I admire many of Turner's character traits, but especially the way he could make friends anywhere he went and his natural ability to lead. Dad recalls when Turner made the Kitchener Rangers hockey team, and they participated in a weekend camping event with a group of boys he had just met. By the end of the weekend, he was unanimously named team captain. I'd like to think that someday he would have continued to lead and been an amazing hockey coach just like his dad. Turner, the day you came into our lives, our family became complete. We shared the best childhoods together with parents who love us more than life. We will forever be a family of 5, and although you are gone from our sight, you will always be in our hearts. I know you're likely chirping me right now for being soft, but I'll say it anyways. I love you, Turner, and I always will.
Dear little bro, from the moment you entered into my life, even though you weren't exactly planned, as Dad thought 2 was enough, you instantly made it better and completed our family. It wasn't but a few years later when the competition of sports was our life. Starting off with mini sticks in the basement, which would normally end with me showing you who's boss with a cross-check, slash, or body check into the drywall, followed by hushing you up as you called for Mom's backup. I'll forever cherish the countless hours out front of the house playing basketball, catch, and road hockey. As we grew up, I realized how much we meant to each other, and I knew how much you looked up to me. But what you may not know is how much you motivated me to try and set a good example for you. We both were never past sneaking in a midnight snack, even if it was Melinda's leftovers. We both went to play competitive hockey and baseball, and both wore number 11. We knew how to play on the edge and seize opportunities when they appeared. And I'll admit it now, for the first time, you were the better player, and I'm proud of the man you became. We both knew how to chirp and respond with smart-ass comments. This was proven when you received the Most Improved Player award for the Ironman, and swiftly said, "I didn't know I was shit to begin with." The rink is where you were happiest, at least for the majority of your life. That is until you met Erin. Then your happiest place was with her, and you guys were inseparable. We both started and spent 4 years in high school working at Joy's, and had both recently started our careers as a couple blue-collar boys in the trades. And a letter from elementary school read that you dreamed of growing up to become a construction worker so you can run big equipment. And you were able to achieve that. We both have had driving incidents, mine being Mom's F-150 into the side of the horse palace, which Mom convinced the cops was a hit and run. And you had no problem taking out our neighbor's garage door. When questioned by Melinda what happened to the door, you responded with, "What happened to Mom and Dad's new snowmobile?" which she had managed to steer into a tree. We both will always be the biggest mama boys, and I will forever be thankful you came to Pembroke for the fishing trip this past Canada Day weekend. All you brought up was a busted up straw hat, beer, darts, Crocs, endless laughter, and hopes of catching a fish. Although we couldn't even catch shade, it will always be my favorite trip, and I'm so happy I got to see you. I'll always love you, T-Mac, and you'll always be with me. I know you're up there looking down on us, which means it's my turn to look up to you. Love your big bro.
Thank you, too. Those are some precious, beautiful memories for everybody to be able to enjoy. Now I would like to ask Grandma Watson to come forward. And she has some memories to share.
A hug. When sorrow enters life and heartstrings feel a tug, nothing brings more comfort than the giving of a hug. Words, though well-intended, cannot ever take the place of sweet, unspoken feelings through a tender, warm embrace. In our arms, there is compassion and the power to impart the purest form of love, for a hug speaks to the heart. Turner, Gordon, John McKenzie, affectionately called Nerner by me and Huey by Grandpa. Dear Turner, I was there to hold and kiss you the day you were born, and sadly I was there to hold your hand and kiss you the day you were taken from us. My memories of you are more than plenty, but today the one I long for is your big hug. When we said goodbye to each other, I would wrap my arms around your waist because you were taller than me, and you would give me a big hug and say, "Love you, Grandma." I am going to miss those hugs. Had I known that the Sunday before you left us would be our last hug, I would have held you tighter and never let go. When I asked Grandpa to share a memory of you, he very quickly reminded me of the time you were staying at the farm with us. You were 3 years old and had an asthma attack. We went to emerge in Mount Forest Hospital, and the doctor wanted to keep you in the hospital overnight. So we were admitted and settled in a room. I was staying with you, and Grandpa was going to work, but you did not want him to leave. When you finally fell asleep, Grandpa slipped away. Now today we are devastated with the reality that you have slipped away on us. Our hearts are broken, We will miss you and always cherish our special memories of you, your sweet smile, your happy and carefree spirit, your presence at our family gatherings where without fail you would always say, "What time are we eating? I'm hungry." And of course, we'll miss your big hugs. Lots and lots of love, Grandma and Grandpa Watson. Hugs and kisses.
Thank you, Grandma. I'd ask Aunt Di to come forward and share with us some memories.
Well, I am Aunt Di to Kim, and I guess I'm great Aunt Di to Turner. And like all of you, my heart has been breaking all week long for this family. It is a time to mourn. But as I look around this room and I see all of Turner's friends and relatives and loved ones and teammates, and I hear all the wonderful stories about his accomplishments and his life, it becomes even more evident to me what a beautiful difference one life can make. Just one little boy here for only a short little while. And look at the difference he's made and the impact that he's having on everyone here today. And even though we will miss him forever, his love will never die. His love will be around us forever. Isn't that kind of a neat fact? You can't kill love. The pain and the suffering will die away, but love will live on forever. And as I was pondering this fact the other day, almost at the very same exact time, I got a text message from Kim. And she said that she and Rob had found a poem that really resonated with them. It was just a short poem, but it talked about this everlasting love. And it concisely summed up the feelings that they were having. And she wished that she could say the poem today herself, but understandably thought maybe she couldn't. So my job today is to read that poem on their behalf, along with a little note that Kim and Rob wrote themselves to Turner. So Turner, this is for you from your mom and dad. It's sometimes hard to know why things happen as they do, for so much joy and happiness was centered around you. It seems so hard to comprehend that you're no longer here, but all the happy memories will help to keep you near. You're thought about with pride, son, with each mention of your name. Death cannot change a single thing. The love will still remain. We miss you so much, Turner, and we love you beyond words. But most importantly, we thank you for all the love, joy, and pride that we have experienced because of you. And we are forever grateful for every moment you have shared with us. Love, Mom and Dad.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad
Please join me as we say together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. This concludes our formal service this morning. There is a private interment for the family at the cemetery, and they ask that you meet them at the Knights of Columbus Hall for a reception and time of continued remembrance and friendship. As a final farewell, and in the words of A. Milne, how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard.
I wanted you for life, you and me in the wind. I never thought there'd come a time that our story would end. It's hard to understand, but I guess I'll have to try. It's not easy to say goodbye. For all the joy we shared, all that time we had to spend. If I had one wish, I'd want forever back again. To look into your eyes and hold you when you cry. It's not easy to say goodbye. I remember all those great times we had. So many memories, some good, some bad. Yes, and through it all, those memories will last forever. There's peace in where you are. Maybe all I need to know. And if I listen to my heart, I'll hear your laughter once more. And so I have to say, I'm just glad you came my way. It's not easy to say goodbye. I wanted you for life, you and me in the wind. I never thought there'd come a time that our story would end. It's hard to understand, but I guess I'll have to try. It's not easy to say goodbye. For all the joy we shared, all that time we had to spend. If I had one wish, I'd want forever back again. To look into your eyes